why Keynes and Milton Friedman's economics are history and what might replace them. What's the answer to those questions?
Well, if you look at the economy of Japan over the last 20 years, Japanese government tried everything about macroeconomists' theories. You know, they lowered the interest rate, they supplied money, actually flooded the money into the market to no avail. We worked on $3 trillion of public works to no avail. Economy is flat, and no impact. And during this time when the government was saying that we have a problem, people were saving money. They actually have saved up $5 trillion. So had the money come out to the market, that would have been the economy. That would have been, in effect, increased the GDP of Japan. So I think it is the psychology. Psychology of people in the developed country, psychology of the people have more impact on the GDP than the macroeconomic measures. In fact, in the borderless economy, if you increase the interest rate to suppress the economy, money comes from the rest of the world to your economy because they like higher interest rate. In the old theory, higher interest is to suppress the economy, to avoid inflation. But if you have a unique inflationary trend, then the money from other countries, what I call the homeless money, will come into your economy. If you want to produce more products, you don't stockpile. Even if the interest rate were very low, you wouldn't make products. It is just in time. In other words, technology has enabled you to produce on demand, as opposed to anticipate the demand and produce in advance. And therefore, even if you lower the interest rate, it is to no effect.
So all the assumptions under which those theories were built have changed.
Completely changed. Macroeconomist theories are completely at odds with the reality of the world. And this is because we have the cyber economy. Therefore, it's wrong for business schools to be teaching the framework, because then the new students will always learn the framework first and start thinking about the strategy with that framework. In my business school, I first teach the framework that are taught throughout the world, including my own, and then say, look, the name of the game is to bust that. The name of the game is to think differently. And innovation is all about your own thinking, your own feel for what the customers will take, you see? And then you have to use the best technology, available technology, to implement that particular thinking. But it is that kind of world. So technology has changed everything, but at the same time, technology is the enabler to make your strategy or vision or whatever you think about possible.
And just to wrap up our conversation, if strategy, the framework, the 3 C's, customer, competitor, and the company,
your company,
remain the valid framework, what about the principle of execution, of having things done? Are those the same as 20 years ago, or have they changed?
I think you now need a leadership on the cyberspace as well, because you're dealing with people whom you have never seen. These are the people who are working for you in China or India or East Europe or even Turkey or Latin America. And therefore, you just have to develop this feel for cyber leadership. And this is something that you have to strive to acquire. It's not your natural talent. It's not human being. In the upbringing of the schools, etc., you don't learn this.
Yes.
But cyber sensitivity and cyber communication with customers, crowdsourcing, which means customers also participate in developing your ideas and products. This is a new leadership. I think this kind of leadership is extremely important, not only in thinking about new ideas and strategy, but in execution.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Education is not emphasizing the importance of leadership, importance of individuals, because it's the individual who would make the difference. And therefore, I think this mass production of education is completely at odds. If it's the computers, Indians can do better, more, cheaply, okay? Chinese can produce more, cheaply, better. And therefore, if you are in countries other than India and China, what do?
Yeah.
You have to be unique. And in achieving this uniqueness, if you could include technology as part of your solution, it is best, because that is differentiation that could last longer. And if you don't do this, your cutthroat competition in terms of lowering prices, etc., will kill the industry, will kill your company. And therefore, don't join with the competitors in this simple competition of lowering price, offering more, cheaper. You have to differentiate so that competitors can't follow. And this is really the new name of the game. And therefore, you have to be both people leader and also technology savvy. And also, you have to be able to know the whole world, because the kind of countries and regions which could give you the solution may not be in your home country.
Yeah.
And therefore, you have to know not only the OECD and BRICS and Vistas, but perhaps a few other countries.
Leadership, technology savvy, getting into education, pulling from the best talent around the world, maybe takes us back to psychology, the
Yes.
starting. And so probably the good 21st century leaders will be people that understand people.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Kanishi, for being
My
with us
pleasure.
today. And thank you for following us on Management TV. See you soon.